Hey everybody, it's Amber with Chiloquin Unique. So, I was getting ready to start this project. This was one of my supplies that I use. And then I was thinking, as I was lining it all up and whatnot, and I was going to cut it, I actually started cutting it. And I thought to myself, I wonder how many other beginning beaders are struggling to find the right material to do bead embroidery on. So this is actually what I use for all of mine. This is not finished, obviously, but that's why it's just hanging here. But this is what I use for my bead embroidery or my flat stitch. And I buy it a couple yards at a time. You can buy the sheets that are like 8 by 10 or some ridiculously small amount, because I go through those like nothing. But I actually buy this one, and this one is, let me find my box with the receipt. I'm going to tell you specifically what it says. I get it at Joann's, and it is, I guess I should have looked this up before okay, so this one is the Extra Firm Stabilizer. It says 926. And it is an actual Pelion product. So this one doesn't have any adhesive on it. There are some with adhesive, and I've actually used the one with adhesive. It doesn't really matter because it's getting backed by leather or vinyl or whatever you're fabric, whatever you're backing it with. So it doesn't really matter if there's an adhesive stuff that is activated by heat, unless you wanted to use it like that. But this stuff is really stiff, and when I add just a piece of my cereal box, which, you know, I've talked about in my other videos, that it's very firm. So this is just one small piece of cardboard in there, this Pelion, and it's no bendy. So you want to get the extra firm. Once you get established, like, you probably shouldn't use this if you're a very, very beginner, because it can exhaust your hands trying to punch through this. It's not hard, but it is way more resistance than, say, a thinner Pelion like this. So this is what I also used. This is actually one of the first ones that I used because I didn't know what I was doing really. And this one is, it has its purpose now. I still buy it, but this one is the Peltex Ultra Firm Sewing. And it says 70. I don't know if that's like a code number or whatever. But, so this one is good for wrapping around odd shapes if I'm going to bead around them with like a peyote stitch or something. Pardon me, allergies. We went to the valley, and it was beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful over there, but they are full spring over there. And so I came back very allergic. So, anyways, this is what I use for, like, the odder shapes, or if I'm wrapping, because it's so thin, you can wrap it. And I only buy like a yard, and it'll probably last me a year. Maybe more. Maybe a couple of years. It just depends on what my projects are that I'm working on. This I go through so much. And all I do is, like, I measure out 12 inches this way. This is how I divide it up, because it's kind of hard for me to store giant rolls of this. I don't have the space for it. So I cut it into sections, and then I stack them all up, and I have a space that I stick them. So that is what I'm doing. And you want a good pair of scissors, because this stuff is pretty tough. But if you want your beadwork to be less flimsy, this is a good one. And you can see it's kind of bowed or whatever. So I have a heat press, so I stick mine under the heat press. And I just let it sit there after it's been warmed up. I don't have my heat press on. I warm up my heat press, turn it off, stick this in, and then it flattens it back out. So then all I do, probably do this in a more proper fashion, but I just turn it, I know it's 12 inches that way, and then I just turn it in half. This doesn't have to be precise for me, because most of these will be cut down to oddball shapes and sizes. This is literally just what I do with this supply to be able to store it. So when I'm ready to use it, I can. And that's that. I just wanted to share with other beaders that may be struggling to find what to use to bead on, because I know nobody was talking. They just kept saying Pelion, but nobody actually said what kind of Pelion. And I'm sure there's other beaders that use much different Pelion than this one. There's like 16 different Pelions to choose from. This is just the one that I prefer, and I keep coming back to it, have for years now, and no regrets. It is kind of a pain to store, though, because it's so stiff that when you have a roll of it, it just stays in a roll. And I don't want to bend it or like actually crease it, so this is the best way that I got, is to take them and cut them down into sections that I know I'll need. So if I was going to do a bigger project, say like a legging or something, then I would cut them into whatever size I need, and that would be how I would store them. But most of these are just medallions, earrings, necklaces. So that's what I got on that. I just wanted to share that helpful information. I know it's hard with everybody holding their secrets on where they get supplies or what kind of supplies to use, because they don't want competition, and I want to see your art. I don't see you guys as competition. I want you to express yourselves and have as much success as you can have, because there is never too much beadwork in this planet. I don't care what nobody says. The more beadwork, the better. So this is my gift to you. Extra firm Pelion. Doesn't matter if it's got the adhesive, but I prefer the one without because it's a little less scratchy on my hand as I'm going. But you get what you get, you know. Go to Joann's, look at the Pelion or the interfacing section, and just kind of feel. You got to feel whatever style you like. Maybe you want it thin, maybe you want it thick, maybe you want it soft, maybe you want it hard. You got to kind of figure it out. It's part of the beading journey. This is where I landed on mine. And try it. I would say just get like a half yard or something and just try it and see what you think, and let me know in the comments if you dig it or not, if it worked for you or not. Make sure you have sharp needles. Make sure you got a thimble or some calloused hands like me. Yeah, go ahead and subscribe, because I'm going to have more helpful hints. And like, and please comment below if this helped you. Alright, I want to thank you again for watching. You guys have a wonderful Monday, and I will see you next time.